Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Dare to Dream. We are going to learn Geography of Class 8 from the MBoSE syllabus. Here the subtopic is Water Resources. Let us have a look at it. Out of the total water resources available on this earth, we have got 3% of fresh water that is useful or fit for human consumption, and 97% is saline water that is available in the oceans. So only 3% is fit for human consumption, and it is very much limited for us. Now, out of this 3% of fresh water, you can see here in this chart, only 1% is available in lakes, rivers and ponds. 30% of fresh water is available as underground water, and 69% is available in glaciers, the snow-covered glaciers. So we can say that we have got only 1% of water that is readily available for human consumption, and 1% of water that is available in lakes and rivers is very much limited for us, very much limited amount for us, and we have to use this limited amount of water very carefully so that we can keep that water safe and pure, and we can keep it for the consumption of our future generations as well. The next topic over here is water cycle. What is water cycle? It is the continuous movement of water from the Earth's surface to the atmosphere and then back to the ground. It is called water cycle. Now, why it is called water cycle? It is a cycle. It is a process. It is a continuous process. So as you can see in this picture is there in your books as well. The water, the groundwater, is evaporated from the oceans, lakes and streams. You can see it on the left hand side of the picture. Then that evaporated water get condensed, and then that condensed water through rainfall is or some other forms is precipitated onto the Earth's surface, and then that water is absorbed by the oceans, by the rivers, by the lakes and ponds. So it is a continuous process. Now let us see what are the steps or stages of the water cycle. It consists of 4 steps. The first one is evaporation. The second one is condensation. Third is precipitation, and fourth is water runoff. Now let us have a look at each of these steps. Evaporation. The sun heats up water in the lakes, rivers and oceans. The water turns into vapor, and rising air currents takes the vapor up in the sky. It is a process by which water changes into gaseous state. So what happens in evaporation is that the heat from the sun it evaporates the water, it turns the water of the land into vapor, and the air currents, rising air currents, it takes this vaporized water up to the sky. In short, we can say that evaporation is the process by which water changes into gaseous state. The next step is condensation. Now, as the vapor rises high into the sky, the cooler temperature makes them cool down and turn into liquid. So when the vapor rises higher, more and more higher, when it reaches the sky, the cooler temperature in the sky, it turns the vaporized water into liquid. So wind turns this liquid into clouds, and in short we can say that condensation is a process by which the water vapor changes into liquid state. The third step is precipitation. Wind movements cause the clouds to collide. They develop into rain-bearing clouds and fall back onto Earth's surface by the process known as condensation. So in the process of condensation, the water turns into liquid state. The water vapor turns into liquid states and it takes the form of clouds. Now in precipitation, what happens is that the wind movements, it causes the different clouds to collide, and when the clouds collide, the rain-bearing clouds, these fall back onto the Earth's surface through this process of precipitation. Now in this precipitation, the falling of the liquid form of water onto the Earth's surface, it may fall in the form of rain or hail, snow, depending on the temperature. If the temperature on the Earth is cold, it will precipitate in the form of snow or hail. Otherwise, it will fall on Earth in the form of rain. Now after that, the next step, the last step is water runoff. The rainwater, it runs off into the oceans, rivers and ground, or absorbed by soil. So these four steps are continuously repeated. As the water comes down and gets deposited into oceans or rivers or and underground, and goes underground, being absorbed by soil, again the same process of evaporation, condensation, precipitation, water runoff, all these steps are being repeated. So that is why it is called, this whole process is known as water cycle. The next point here is conservation of water resources. As water is very limited, as only 1% of fresh water is readily available for us for consumption in lakes and ponds and rivers. So that is why we have to use this water resource very carefully so that we can use it at present and we can keep it for the use of our future generations. Let us see what are the steps of water conservation. The first one is afforestation. Afforestation means planting more trees. plantation of trees. So how it helps? It helps in replenishing groundwater, as the roots of plants holds topsoil in place and makes the soil porous. So when we plant trees, the roots of the trees hold the soil very firmly and also makes the soil porous. When the soil gets porous, the rainwater seeps easily through the ground, and that water goes that water gets deposited in the underground water deposit. So in this way, afforestation or planting more trees can help in preserving or conservation of water resources. The next step is drip irrigation. This method of irrigation allows water to drip slowly to the roots of the plants. It helps in preventing wastage of water. In traditional methods of irrigation, a lot of water resources gets wasted because we keep on irrigating the water throughout the field, and a lot of water that much of water is not needed for the crops at times. So in this method of drip irrigation, water is being dripped so slowly only to the roots. It is concentrated only to the roots of the plants. As you can see in the picture here, there are saplings or small plants in the field over here, and some pipes are being fitted through the in parallel lines through the plants. So what happens in drip irrigation? As you can see more clearly in this picture, through these pipes, water is being small amount of water is being dripped, slowly dripped, only that reaches only the roots of the plants. So in this way we can save a lot of water, and this helps in conservation of water. The third method which helps in conservation of water is sprinkler irrigation. It is a method of applying controlled irrigation water which is similar to natural rainfall. Water is distributed through a system of pipes, usually by pumping. It saves water during irrigation. As you can see in the picture, there are certain pipes from which water is being sprayed throughout the field in minute water droplets, in the form of minute water droplets, and these pipes are linked to a motor which can be switched on and off based on the need of the plants. When the plants are thirsty, when the plants need water, the motor can be turned on so that water can be irrigated through the sprinkler. And when the plants have got enough water, then the motor is being turned off. In this way we can save a lot of water, because we can control the amount of water which is being sprinkled throughout the field. The next method of water conservation is rainwater harvesting. What is rainwater harvesting? It is a method of collection and storage of rainwater rather than allowing it to get wasted. This saved water can be used during dry seasons. So when the rainwater falls down onto earth, a lot of water gets wasted and being run off to the oceans, rivers, and to the drains, to the ponds. So if we make an effort, we can save this rainwater to use it for various purposes. Let us see how this rainwater harvesting works. Here is a picture of rainwater harvesting system. So on the left hand side you can see a house. From that house, from the roof of the house, a pipe is attached. A blue colored pipe is attached. So when the rainwater falls on the roof of the house, that water, instead of getting wasted, it flows through that pipe and it reaches the filter. Now in this filter machine, the rainwater gets purified or filtered, and then it reaches the main tank. Now from the main tank, the water is being pumped through a motor, and this water from the main tank, it can be used for various purposes like watering the plants in the garden, then flushing the toilet, then washing cars, washing clothes, and for many other purposes. And moreover, when the main tank gets totally full, and it starts to overflow, that overflown water again through a pipe gets shifted to a well, and this water gets deposited as groundwater. So in this way we can save a lot of water through rainwater harvesting system, and it is a very useful method to save water even for the future use, to prevent the scarcity of water. That's all for today. Thank you for watching my video.